Hi everyone, attorney Rachel Kelley here with another Family Law Friday. This week I'm answering the question of, my ex never returns my child's clothes, what should I do? Okay, so I would say that this falls under the category of difficult co-parenting issues, right? This is something that gets raised to me all the time by tons of different parents, regardless of how long they've been separated, regardless of whether we have one parent that's the primary custodian or if the people are sharing equal parenting time. I hear this complaint all the time. So here's what I'm going to suggest. First of all, if you and your ex share equal parenting time, they are responsible for having clothes that fit your child at their house during their parenting time. That's not your problem. So if your child on an equal parenting time schedule is routinely packing a whole bag and taking clothes back and forth because their other parent doesn't have clothes there that fit them, that's really not your problem, unfortunately. And that's something that, you need to say to your parent. Listen, we share equal time because you're equally responsible for caring for this child. And so when they're with you, I'm not going to be packing and sending them with a bag anymore. Go out and get them some clothes that fit at your house. Doesn't have to be great stuff. Go to the outlets, go to the thrift store. Just go get something that's there for the child during their time. Now, if you're the primary physical custodian and your ex never returns the kids' clothes and you are sending clothes back and forth for weekend visits and things like that, then this is my suggestion. And I really, really hate it. But really, you only have two options in this kind of circumstance. Option number one is just accept that there are things that are probably never going to come back if you send them to the other parent's house and that parent is not typically in the business of sending your kid back with all of their stuff. Just deal with it. Just accept it. It's not going to happen, right? So you can choose to do nothing and just swallow it and go and read Joint Custody with a Jerk, right? Because it will help you figure out how to co-parent with a jerk like this. Or alternatively, what you can do and what a lot of clients do is you have clothes for the non-custodial parent's house and you have clothes for the custodial parent's house. And I hate to say it, but if you buy your child something really, really nice and your child's at an age where they're not really old enough or responsible enough to make sure that that clothing comes back with them, then just don't pack it for them and don't send it with them to the other parent's house. Get them something from the thrift store. Get them something from the resale shop. Get them something from the outlets that those are their designated other parents' clothes, and just choose from those clothes when you send them to the other parent's house. And I give this advice because I have seen those motions from attorneys where they're saying the other parent is refusing to send back the clothing, or the other parent does not seem to believe that it's their responsibility to provide clothing for the child during their parenting time. And listen, that is a ridiculous thing for a parent to do, and it's a ridiculous stance for a parent to take. I totally agree. But I also think it's a little bit ridiculous to make a motion just about that, when the cost of bringing that motion is so much more than the extra couple $100 of dollars that you could spend each year getting discount or, gently pre-loved clothing for your child and just send them to their other parent's house with those clothes. It's just not really worth your energy to go through the litigation on something like that. Now, if you're already in court on a lot of other issues, or if you're going back to court to modify custody or parenting time for some other reason, well, then it might make sense to make a request to the court specifically about returning of items at the end of parenting time, so on and so forth. But remember, we can get a lot of court orders in family court that say a lot of different things. But at the end of the day, it's still your responsibility to enforce those orders. And so the more specific your orders are, the more of a challenge you have in, first of all, complying with your own order, and secondly, in enforcing that order against your other parent. Moving on, co-parenting with a jerk, a lot of times you just have to make a decision to suck it up and let it go. I hope that this video has been helpful. If you or someone you know has questions about co-parenting with their ex or wants to have an attorney review their orders and see if it might be time to make a change, please give our office a call. We're here to help.